Hey guys, so I really didn't have time to do a lot of vlogging, or at least as much vlogging as I had hoped to on the ship. So I'm going to do a little bit of vlogging now. But, so this video is going to be about the 2.0 shows and how I feel about them and everything. So I'm going to say, first of all, there was only 2 shows, and they reran the shows, which means that, so the first night that, or technically the second night that we were on the ship, they performed a show called Divas, where they actually take someone from the audience, give her a full makeover, and they do, like, an interactive piece with that, and then they move on to the actual show part. And what I'm going to say about Divas was that I was kind of disappointed in the fact that how it's changed compared to the other shows. Like, now there's 4 female, 4 male dancers, so there's 8 dancers total, and they do their own props, which basically, like, I really don't like that. But what they're basically doing is having to move things around themselves, and there's really no blackouts, and there was like 3 costume changes the whole show, and the shows were a lot shorter too, because basically what they did in Divas was they went through Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, I think Madonna or Rihanna, and then maybe a couple more, but they sang. And then they danced a little bit, but they're not really singers or dancers necessarily. It's kind of like average of both. And so that was just, I was kind of disappointed when it came to that. And there was really no pausing. And basically what they did in 2.0 is they took out they took out the people who do, like, backstage propping, like, moving things around, and then they added like this big screen in the background that does like lights up and like adds like it's just effects basically. And so they have like lights that are spinning and like the effects in the background screen, and they have that going, and then they're dancing. And then also I thought it was kind of cool that the screen would go sometimes to a whole bunch of dancers, so it looked like there was a lot of dancers, and then there's the actual like 4 that were dancing. So I did like that, but like the rest of it was kind of just, I didn't really like it, the way like the lighting was and everything. But Divas, I was pretty disappointed with, but can't really say much. And then the night after that, they played a show called Latin Nights, and Latin Nights was a bit better. It was mostly Spanish Latin music kind of stuff. And I enjoyed it. It was a little bit longer than Divas. It wasn't so interactive with the audience, so I was happy about that. And there was a lot more dancing in there, like actual dancing, like stuff that you can teach other people to be actual dances, not just like a few choreography moves. So I was happy with that. It was mostly Spanish music, but there was one thing that I thought was really cool. They have all the stages for Carnival, at least that I know of, have a platform where they usually used to put the orchestra, and now they lowered it because it lowers up and down and raises and stuff. And so they actually lowered it with like a couple, and then when they brought it back up, there was these 2 like, they look like tables almost, but they had water on them, and like on the first couple seating, they gave you ponchos, and even on the, like, there was people like talking, like preparing you for the show kind of thing, like, get ready, and one of them said you might get wet. And I thought that was really cool, because when it came back up with those tables, there was a girl on there, and she actually was standing on like a little bed of water, and she was like kicking the water around, and she was dancing, but she was also like splashing the water, and it looked really, really cool. So I was happy about that part. And there was a lot more dancing, and they played Spanish music, and they also played like Pitbull and like stuff like that. And so I did enjoy that, but just overall, I don't really like the 2.0 theme when it comes to the shows, just because I prefer like the old-fashioned shows where you sit there and you get to see them dance, and they do costume changes, and like they just do the whole like ambiance kind of thing. Like, these dancers really didn't even have any wigs. Like, if there was any, I would say there was only like 1 or 2 they had like 2 costume changes, and the costume changes were really like, instead of having a big long skirt, they just took off that piece of the skirt and just danced with like the leotard piece under it or something like that. And so I was kind of disappointed in the costumes, but other than that, it was pretty decent. And yeah, so if I'd have to like actually rate it by like stars or something, like critique it, like this is pretty much a critique, but when it comes to the shows, I preferred their old way, but I guess this way appeals to younger generations or something. I really don't know. But yeah, so basically just there's less dancers, they added the big screen, there's not really costume changes, there's just a mix of singing and dancing, there's not really just singing or just dancing, there's always 2 things going on. The dancers have to move their own props and stage things, like they have these like actual like stage like platforms where like it was stairs, it turned into stairs at the end, but the dancers had to move them themselves. So while there was 2 singing towards the front, the dancers in the back were moving around their this platforms, and I really didn't like that because that's not a dancer's job in my opinion. But so yeah, and I think that's it. If I come up with something else, I'll probably just make another video and like put it in some other video. Like I might just do a 2.0 total like video, like how I felt about the 2.0 ship completely. And yeah, thanks for watching.